Hello, Alchemist. Today we're just doing a quick 5 to 10 minute check-in on what you need to know today. So, of course, this is a timeless reading. So, let's go ahead and look at your 3 doorways. If you already picked your doorway, check the timestamps below. Doorway number 1, thought it was a vibe. Red flags, fantasy, false hope. Doorway number 2, being too much again. Rejection, overexpression, and shame. Doorway number 3, too many dings, not enough peace, fragmented focus, tech burnout. All right, choose your doorway, Alchemist, and let's begin the great work. Hi, and welcome to your initiation through doorway number 1. What message do you need to hear today? We're just going to do a quick message for you. You chose thought it was a vibe, red flags, fantasy, and false hope. So the immediate feeling here is of disappointment because likely a relationship, whether that's romantic or friendship wise, didn't turn out how you thought. You ignored red flags. And so I think the deeper meaning for you is actually more around why did you ignore the red flags than it is around this specific person. And why does it affect you so deeply? Is there a limerence element to it? Limerence being kind of building up the fantasy about this person and who they are in your head rather than getting to know who they are and trusting what they're actually showing you in action. And there is no shame on this channel. Me and everybody I've known has done this before. Look at that. 7 of Cups is exactly about seeing all these, having all these fantasies and all these thoughts. So basically having fantastical thoughts and feelings while kind of ignoring reality. So your kind of quick message today is, was this relationship or connection real, or did you build up a fantasy in your head about this person and ignore some of the red flags? And once again, no blame here. 10 of Wands. Yes, it became a huge burden because you were trying to get them to fit into your idea of who they should be rather than accepting who they were. I think a lot of times you see the best potential in a person, and when that happens, we often overlook red flags. That doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you a nice human, right? But that has to do with like getting your boundaries in line. 3 of Wands. So 3 of Wands is always about kind of moving forward in your life. It is about making your own path. And so I feel like with this, it's saying before you get entangled in another connection, take some time to make sure that you are in your Queen of Cups energy. Queen of Cups energy being emotionally stable in the way of like being able to discern reality from fantasy when it comes to and being able to identify red flags. Immerse yourself in information about invisible red flags that are really common. And I say all this as a person who's been through all that, because next time you want to be able to practice identifying red flags next time you get near connection. Honor the sacred wound. Do not reopen it. Usually limerence, this kind of energy, is because of a childhood wound, and you're trying to close the loop on a childhood wound. So, for example, if you have an abandonment wound, you might find someone who has issues with abandoning people, so avoidant kind of energy, so that you can try and heal the abandonment wound. You're trying to replay the story so that you can heal it. But you're being called to move forward into this energy and heal this. They accidentally did the thing 17 times. The jury remains skeptical, and so should you. So for a lot of you, the red flag was the idea of them, oops, I did this. Oops, I forgot to call you. Oops, I did that. And then making you feel unreasonable for calling them out on it, or making you feel confused, right? Okay, so this is just your quick little check-in today. I hope that helped you a lot, and thank you so much for being here, and thank you for doing the great work. I will see you next time. Don't ignore those red flags and keep working on your discernment. You already have it in you. You just question it sometimes. I'll see you next time. Hello, Alchemist, and welcome to your initiation through doorway number 2. Today, we're just getting a quick check-in message of what you need to know today. You chose being too much again, rejection, overexpression, and shame. So you are feeling a lot of shame. Like maybe you felt like you are oversharing, or that you're too excited about life. And we got jumping. And that feeling of being too much is a societal program to keep you small, right? So that other people can keep you closed up in a box, because people stuck in the box are more compliant, right? And that's not who you are. That is not who you are. You are vibrant. You are interesting. You are, if people accuse another person of being too much, that usually means that other person is too little. They don't have the capacity to handle somebody as vibrant and bright as you. And the issue is that because other people can't handle it, they make it a you problem, whereas you're just being bright. So there's this great comic named Lainey I really need it, Molnar, whatever. Anyway, she does great little comics. One of them she did was like, just basically let people do what makes them happy in peace, as long as it's not hurting other people. There's a picture of a woman, and she's like putting sriracha on ice cream, and she's wearing these big fairy wings. Like, why are people raining on other people's parade? So you feel rejected because other people are like, "Ooh, you're too much." Well, you know what? I love the whole idea. If I'm too much, go find less. The people who enjoy my muchness, as they say in Alice in Wonderland, will come towards me and not be overwhelmed by it. If people are overwhelmed by it, it just means they're not your people. And we see this here. You get a lot of sadness where, so basically with Five of Pentacles, there's the idea of a sanctuary being there, but being stuck out in the cold when you could just walk in. So the idea is that your muchness is beautiful and wonderful and carefree and fun and full of abundance. But you see it as barren and as a flaw. So what you need to know today is that you need to love and embrace that part of yourself. You are blinded to how beautiful and glorious it actually is because of this feeling of lack. Once again, coming back to a childhood wound where you were told over and over again to calm down, you're too much. Why are you so vivacious? Why are you so, whatever the words that were used that kind of started becoming little knives in your heart, right? You are vibrant. And when you shine your true self, you'll never feel like too much when the right people come to you, because they will delight in your muchness. Your anxiety has mistaken speculation for prophecy. Okay, so the speculation here is being that I'm always too much, and that if I show my true self, people will shut me down or they'll reject me. Remember, if you have to put a mask on in order to keep somebody around, that person's not for you, right? If the story bends reality, check the storyteller. Who's been telling you to be smaller? People who are already stuck in their small little box. And what it is when they see you being vibrant and bright, it triggers in them a mirror. The mirror that says, I used to be that way, or I'm hiding that brightness and magic too, but I'm not brave enough to bring it out. You are brave enough to bring it out. And through that, you will actually inspire other people. You will inspire other people to want to be their vibrant self more. All right, this was just a quick little check-in today, giving you the message you need to hear. This is a timeless message, but thank you so much for being here and for doing the great work. It makes a huge difference. Shadow work is not easy, but it makes a huge difference, not just in your life, but in the world. I'll see you next time. Hello, Alchemist, and welcome to your initiation through doorway number 3. This is just a quick check-in, timeless reading, and the question is, what do you need to hear today? And here we got too many dings, not enough peace, fragmented focus, tech burn. Okay, so I'm getting here the feeling of, it's obvious what it is, right? Like that you are feeling so overwhelmed. You feel like there's too much on your plate, and you're having a really hard time catching up. Look at that 8 of Wands energy. Look, we have this tornado. Once again, we have idea of being so overwhelmed and you just want to cry and you don't even know where to start. Maybe you're flipping from one thing to another, and so everything is getting kind of half attention. But look at this energy coming in behind this tornadic, crazy stuff. So we have this being like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. But you know, with this one, it's also sort of like acceptance and letting go of control. I feel like that this happens because we have so many like directions we're being pulled in. And so the question is, how can you kind of simplify? How can you simplify? How many of the things that are pulling at your attention are really your responsibility. And this is something I had to learn the hard way, which is that so many times the things that I was doing. So here's an example. When I was at my job as a librarian years ago, I always wanted to do the best job, and I would way overdo it and burn myself out. But so I did all these special programs. I brought the Tibetan monks from India. I threw a medieval festival, different things like that. And I was talking to my boss. I'm like, I'm just so overwhelmed. And she's like, well, you know, you didn't have to do all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I chose to make my job harder because I was so excited and interested in that, because I have to keep things kind of interesting. So, but that happens all the time in our lives, where we might be taking on the emotional, physical, or other responsibilities that actually belong to another person, and it causes us to weigh ourselves down. Or we might be cluttering our stuff with stuff that we realize we don't actually have to have. So like, you might have notifications on for 30 apps. Maybe you only need the notifications for 2 of them, right? But with that saying, that if you're able to let go of some of this control and focus on actually what's important to you, you're going to be uplifted. And then use your mind, this is about opportunity, to decide what really deserves. You have such a limited amount of attention, and your attention is your power. What are you putting your attention on? Look at this. Are you having enough fun? How often are you putting down the phone or turning it off so that you're not getting cascaded constantly with micro notifications, micro attention grabbers, right? So that you're not burning out, and you're able to focus and enjoy one thing. Because I found when I get into this state, when I try to transmute back to this state, I feel so scattered. I feel like focusing on this one thing for an hour or 30 minutes. So just give yourself space and time, and say, okay, well, I'm going to turn my phone off for 5 minutes. Okay, I'm going to turn my phone off for 20 minutes. It doesn't just mean fun. This could be just being overwhelmed with like other tasks too. Give yourself an allotted time. These are just suggestions. Obviously, you can try a lot of different things, but that's the energy that we're getting. The ship's captain continues delivering inspiring speeches from the dock. This is actually great, because this is the idea that when you get so overwhelmed with this, a lot of times you spend all your time worrying and almost none of your time actually doing the thing. I said earlier that you might be like jumping different topics or jumping different tasks that you need to do. So this concept is the idea that, like, instead of driving the ship, the captain is just talking about the ship from the dock, right? So what can you do to practically make this better in your life? If every conversation feels like a maze, stop looking for the cheese. Okay, so I feel like obviously this has to do, if you are getting texts from a specific person, or maybe work texts that are kind of overwhelming or confusing, it's almost like, stop assuming that the confusion is always on your end. Sometimes it's overwhelmed. Sometimes it's other people not communicating clearly. So just kind of working on your discernment and making sure that you are giving yourself the break you need. The underlying thing here is like to take it slow. Look how frantic this is, and then how slow this is. What can you kind of let go of right now? Because sometimes there's a saying by, I can't remember who said it. Maybe it was Dogen Zenji or something. He said basically like, meditate for 20 minutes a day. If you don't have time for that, meditate for an hour. So the idea is that, like, if you are in this kind of state, you have to do this to get to a place where you can actually take care of these tasks. So it doesn't have to be meditation. It's whatever makes you happy and makes you feel relaxed. Sometimes you have to step away, and then when you get back, you can actually be organized and discerning when you get back into this. Okay, I hope this little quick check-in helped you today. Continue doing the great work. It makes a huge difference, and I'm so happy you're here, and thank you so much for being here, supporting the channel, and I will see you next time.